Welcome to Journey to Service. I'm William Laddick. Welcome back. Very, very special episode of Journey to Service today, episode 40. But not only is it because it's 40, our 40th episode, it's also something that Randall had said last week. He said he wanted more feminine energy. Where is the feminine energy? He said, I want more feminine energy. And sure enough, what Randall wanted, Randall got. And so Randall is back, but we've got a whole bunch more cool people joining us. But we're going to pass it to Randall first to let us know what's going on and introduce the subject properly. Randall Earl Kaiser, welcome to the show. And how are you?
I'm great, William. Thank you. Oh, that's a cool way to start it. I didn't realize it was number 40. So we got those twos, eh? 2 + 2, 4, 222, 2022, all about balance. And we were doing this just before the show started with Mark. She was doing the infinity symbol. And oh God, things are just rocking, guys. Thank you so much for coming, everybody, and joining us. I'll just let everybody know that's watching that these ladies and gentlemen that are on here are more focused on the project side of what I've been kind of announcing on our channel and my channel and whatever over the last while. And it's been approximately 8 months, so there's some more twos in there, that we've been, or I've been involved, and a lot of these ladies and gentlemen as well, in this divine order of Santa Maria, okay? And we've mentioned it a number of times. We can't go into a whole bunch of details at this point and start giving out names and stuff, but basically what we're talking about are aristocratic royal family, bloodline families that exist, okay? They're alien to us because they don't function in the government jurisdiction where we are, challenged to function in with these looniverse governed mind organizations. But at the same time, they're people like us. So I use the word alien, but they're alien to our society and to our structure. But prior to, as I said in my video a couple of days ago, prior to World War I, most of the world still functioned with kingdoms, and then we really got involved with these corporate governments, especially after World War II, okay? That's when the New World Order started, and that was a government organization to basically screw with the minds of the masses all over the world, because it's not one nation versus one nation like we're led to believe by the media. It's one world government that's been, basically running the show. And, it's become obvious to everyone on this channel and everyone that watches this, and there's more and more people waking up to it all the time, that these governments are rogue, and they just filled with criminals, filled with deception and deceit, and it's been that way for many years. So we're having to shift something, okay? And the shift that I saw with this divine order of Santa Maria was just divine for me. And as people open up to it and see more and more as we expose more of it, I think you'll feel some of that. I'm not going to say it'll change your mind and you'll say, oh, rah kingdoms and all that again, but they never stopped existing. They just went behind the scenes and tried to allow these governments to, do their thing. So to not talk for the whole hour myself, I'm going to say that, again, this group that we've brought today all have been involved with projects for many years. They've been certain amounts of physical manifestation already proceeding, and manifestation being paperwork and documents and licensing and agreements and stuff like that, just like what I've done, like where I come into this with DOSM is on the side of agriculture. And, it's a position that is masculine in role, because we still have, and we're going to transition, I believe myself, but we still have domestic animal agriculture going on this beautiful Mother Earth. And somebody has to take that role, which is not going to be a happy role all the time, because there is things involved with that are pretty damn obvious, you know? So it's a role that I was never going to be afraid of. Have I taken some flack over it over the last years? Of course, because the community that is more seeing the future is seeing it without suffering. And, you know, not only for the people, but for the animals as well. My role in that is consciously dealing with the animals. And I can't explain that to people when it comes to the harvest process. So everybody has their own perspectives. But the group here today falls, and I have taken the role of the Minister of Finance, minister being in service. And when I say in service, I'm not talking about in service to a higher level of hierarchy in a kingdom. I'm talking about in service, divinely, directly, naturally activated, okay, to source, which is within all of us, okay? So we're talking about a sovereign group of people that are sovereign thinking, that think in terms of cooperation, co-creation, those kind of terms, rather than bowing under some, you know, hierarchical structure. And when I found that with the two people, the prince and the princess involved in this DOSM, who will be king and queen, with a coronation coming up in March, and you can believe that if you want, but that's my reality, and that's where I connect with these people directly. That's what's happening. And this balance of the masculine and feminine that's rising, and I'm seeing it with these two people, and then the people that join in to this DOSM from different areas, and getting rid of the old masculine energy that was in the banking system and in capitalism and in communism and all those isms, pharmaceuticalism. It's just beautiful for me to realize and watch what's happening in this balance that's happening. 2022, show number 4, you know. It's wonderful, William. Thanks for that. So I'm going to stop now and let the ladies introduce themselves one at a time if they feel called. And William, I'll let you kind of maybe watch for the hands in the air. I can only see one at a time on my screen. And you know, if you want to speak for a minute first, William, or whatever, and then we'll go around and let everybody introduce themselves and chat with us a little bit about their projects. This is all, sorry, one more thing. This will fall into, work with, I don't say under, and if I do, correct me, this will work with the Ministry of Health, okay? That's the best word we can come up with right now. The Ministry of Health with DOSM is going to include projects, okay? Just like the Ministry of Agriculture includes projects. This ministry and this kingdom is not like a typical government by far. It's not a government. It is an example. It is a leadership. The kind of projects that these people are talking about will blow your mind. If you're familiar with something like the Venus Project that Jacques Fresno presented a number of years ago, and then it was presented as Zeitgeist, I think, project for a while. That's the kind of stuff that these people are talking about at these aristocratic levels, is producing and building cities around the world like that. These modern, you know, where we've been held back in suppression from technologies and whatnot. But in the meantime, people like us and these ladies and gentlemen that are going to present today are talking about 3D projects, things that are either already in existence and started or on the table to be started, that will involve infrastructure that we're familiar with, properties that we're familiar with. And now I'm going to stop, I promise. So back to you, William. I love you guys, and thank you all for coming today.
Thank you, Randall. I'm going to just mention everyone by name, and then I'll either pick on someone or someone can step forward and volunteer. But we're representing different parts of the world today. We've got Mart from Australia, who's here with a little bit of lavender in her hair that I noticed this morning, and And we've got Martin McNichol, who I only know from the interviews that he's done with Randall. So Martin, welcome. Welcome. I believe you're from the UK as well. Is that correct?
So my heart is in Ireland, my body's in Portugal, my soul's everywhere else.
That nails it down. Welcome, welcome. We also have Barrett as well with us. Barrett's returning as well. Tunian is the last name. Danusha Kazmarek is here as well from a very familiar spot, different angle, but I think the same area of the world. And Jenny Byers from the United States is also here. And we have Trisha Eastman from the Azores. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but we've had Trisha on the show before. So welcome all. I think I don't know very much about the different projects each of you are involved with. So this is going to be news for me as well, because I'm looking forward to hearing everything that everyone's working on. And I remember Randall saying when he was setting this up with me is that I know that he had said, I really hope Danusha comes because I really want her to talk about that project. So I'm going to toss it to Danusha first and have Danusha tell us a little bit about her project. And first of all, tell us what it is, and then obviously give us a little bit of a backgrounder and go from there. So Danusha, good morning or good evening.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
Fabulous. Well, there you go. Here I am. I'll try not to cough and splutter as I have been, but okay. I'm going to say a little bit about the projects, but I suppose I just want to show people about manifestation as well, how things are not always just as they seem. They don't just always arrive. They can arrive in lots of different pieces over many, many years. And my projects arrived, if you want to call it, because it wasn't something I was thinking of ever doing. I just remember with the work that I do and people that know me, it's always through visions and that strong intuition. And that's what I got back in 2010. And I was really surprised at the vision of retreats and the different kind of visions I were getting. And then in my mind is, well, how am I going to create that? That's our famous word, how? And I just didn't know. But then I would get some other visions and dreams to put some more pieces together. And then it kind of vanished. And then it was about another 2 years later that the energy started to come strong again about these healing centers retreats. And then some more jigsaw pieces were coming together. I noticed if I ever tried to push anything, it wouldn't go anywhere. It was almost having to wait for the things to arrive, the people, the ideas, the suggestions, how to expand on it, how maybe to make the business plan bigger, how to maybe to put it into a PowerPoint presentation in case, I was going to have to do a 5-minute spiel to these millionaires on stage. It's like, how do I do this? So I was mastering the art, not that I realized that, of weaving my way of bringing it to life. And bringing it to life, and that's a part of the manifestation of bringing it to life with the feeling that I have, the desire that I have, the passion in my heart, the humanitarianness inside myself, and making it bigger. And it was interesting all throughout that time. There'd be always people putting it down, always people thinking it's too grand an idea, start low, start small, do this, do that. No, it never worked. Never, ever worked. So I think I'm just putting a bit more about what projects mean, because I think not everybody understands where projects always come from, because they're thinking, well, what can I do for humanity now? Well, what can I do for service? And I'm just putting a pointer to it that whether it's planned or not, a passion or not, it still has to come through a series. For the individual, my story is going to be different to each and everybody's here. Somebody might have done what I did 10 years ago, 2 years ago, and it may be 10 times way ahead of mine yet. But it's just you listening to the inner sat nav, your inner guidance, and being aligned with the people you do. So basically, I've come to the point now where throughout the times, and just like even Randy's talked over all these weeks and months, in all the different kinds of videos, it's what's in your mind and what's in your heartbeat and what is in the passion within you and the essence within you to bring it to life. You've got to feel it, breathe it, taste it, experience it in whatever way that it is. And then it becomes more and more tangible and more and more tangible. And sometimes it's so tangible, it's in your hands, but it's still etheric. So there may be times you still feel like giving up. There may be times you still feel hopeless, or it's not going to the direction that it is. But without fail, if it's meant to be for you, it won't stop. It's like your heartbeat going, give me more, like that magnet pulling you. It's like, no, you're not stopping. Here's another avenue. Here's another person to meet. Here's another option. Here's another idea to expand on it, to make it bigger. So that is where I'm at. It's been since 2010. So I'm now here, 222. No, it's not 222. I've chucked on another 200 years over. We're not jumping that far ahead.
I like the way you think into the future, Danusha. That's wonderful.
Always do.
I have a PDF, a very short visual PDF that you actually created. If you don't mind, I'd be happy to share it if you want to talk about it briefly.
Maybe not at this time. It's still
Okay.
work in progress, William.
Okay.
if you-
Working
All right.
progress.
Very good.
Okay. Well, I'll give a quick rundown of it.
Yeah.
Because to me, there's no competition. People always think, oh, that's my idea, or that's my idea. Oh, no, there's healthy competition, because your heartbeat can't do what my heartbeat does. And we all need to accumulate as much of our heartbeats with all our ideas, no matter how similar, because they'll still have our different essence. They'll still look different in design. They'll still have different decor, different energies. Everything will be different. So to me, I never see it as a competitive thing. It's, share your ideas. So just one of the ideas, because I've got 4 projects. And one project was there's going to be a healing center. And that healing center would have, it's almost like bringing Atlantis back to Earth, with all the rooms, what's actually there available for people on either side. There's going to be like a birth center, how they arrive in the world, our children arrive in the world. Through the process of natural parenting, there'll be a place for, hypnobirthing, doulas, all that. On the opposite end, I don't call it a hospital, but that's how people might look at it, that if you're ill, you arrive there. And even if you are coming to the end of line, you'll be treated with honor, dignity, and respect in the way that you choose to be, to leave. So you've got the whole spectrum. It is a huge idea. And I've never gone for anything less, no matter how much it was suppressed. And I just know that there's going to be international ones. And it's all going to be aligned with ley lines. I don't know the full details. I'm still gathering the details. So that's that. And other projects will be attributed to these centres. I think that's it for me. I think I'm going to let somebody else speak. So unless there's any questions, but I think that's me now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Danusha. Like I said, we have people from all over the world here today, and I'm just going to go right down the list because I'm curious about everyone's project. I want to know a little bit more about what everyone has, and the one that's up the latest right now, I think, is Mart in Australia. So I'm going to pick on Mart here to see if she can tell us a little bit more about her project, what it is, what it's about, what she's been working on, what motivated her to do that, and take it away, Mart.
Thank you, Brother William. Well, how blessed are we to connect tonight? Well, night for me, it's midnight, so I'm a bit of a wild child here up till this hour. Have to be honest, I had a great nap for 3 hours before the call. So I'm feeling quite bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So for me, my journey has been very winding. My what you call massive a spiritual awakening actually happened in Calgary in Alberta, back in Randall's patch there. So I'm back based in Australia, and I've been doing committed in service to sacred feminine and healing Mother Gaia, the planet, working on ley lines and rebalancing vortices and recalibrating and realigning back to positive and love-centered energy. As far as the project goes, I guess for me, it's been a series of what you call channelings or through meditation and sitting just in presence, and again that heart space where I've had many kind of visions come to me, and I've been, documenting them over the years. And it seems to be that there is this incredible divine flow now that hasn't existed until it's time to really bring all those elements together. And so for me, not only connecting to these beautiful souls, but also as we're also connecting to that higher aspect of self, where we're able to really tune into that vital force that flows through, and we are stepping into our own sense of consciousness where we are totally in service, because there has always been that paradigm of, service to others and service to self. And I think it's now a paradigm on this planet where it's just in service, because it's the same, it's all in oneness and alignment. So there's no vision of that kind of difference or separation. It just is being present and living through heart consciousness. I guess for my project, it's looking at whole healing communities, and definitely working quite similar with Danusha. We've had some conversations about how there's a beautiful alignment, and with Martin also, from the conversations we've had. And it's such a beautiful experience because so many people are intrinsically coming on board, and there's no effort in this now. There is this intrinsic flow, and that's how you know that there is this resonance now that is aligning all of these forces of nature, of forces of being, and this heart consciousness. And like Danusha said, that collection of those different heartbeats and individual imprints, or I call it authentic DNA. So living through your authentic DNA is what this is about. And of course, that is all part of the heartbeat and who you are as a being. So we have a blueprint basically that can be applied and given to different communities all around the planet to align and recalibrate humanity's vibration as well as realign to planet. So just in the heartbeat, that's what it is.
Thank you, Mart. Thank you for sharing that with us all. I'm just going down the list, like I said, because we have so many people and so many projects and so little time, it seems, at this moment. But Barrett's here, and Barrett, you're just recovering from a cold, and good to see you back and nice and rosy cheeked and everything. So good to see you. What's a wonderful project that you've been working on that I have no idea about?
Well, I'll just keep it as brief as possible. I mean, my calling started about 10 years ago, and it was like winning the lottery, reference to finding Bulgaria, of all places. I hadn't been here before. I've not done past life regression or anything, but cutting it as short as possible. But when I arrived, it just felt so great, and I felt so alive. I came on a little tour just to inspect the energy and see how it resonated with me, and boy, it really did. And 10 years on, I mean, it's like we've already started a bit of an agricultural business. We grow a lot of goji berries and stuff, and so we've got our fingers in a few agriculture areas. Like we grow a lot of herbs and spices here now, and that's not been my background. It's just the energy here has just got me involved in doing a lot of agricultural work. But apparently, and this isn't, I haven't done any kind of past life regression stuff, but I was involved in the White Brotherhood movement in my previous incarnation. And I've just come to finish my project, which is about introducing the 0 point energy and to bring people in an alignment with Mother Earth and introduce the cosmic energy. And so that, people, because at birth, the majority of people have been traumatized. And what I try to do is, I don't really try to do anything, but is I bring people's perspective into an area where they become more conscious of themselves and understand the essence of who they are and what the journey is all about. So, but on the same token, reference to the project idea, we're interested in introducing like healing domes Where people can come and basically feel the heartbeat of Mother Earth, and really to reconnect and de-traumatize themselves, and create this atmosphere where they understand the essence of their own unique spiritual evolution. So it's just like creating a platform where people can just find and ease their way into themselves, and really to de-traumatize and not feel in a position where, with all that's going on at the moment, and boy, there's a lot going on, isn't there? It's just like taking ownership and responsibility, and to be centered. And when we talk about masculine and feminine, everything, to bring it into some kind of balance. And there's so much more I can say about it, just to bring it into some kind of perspective, what we will be doing. And we're so excited that we've got a lot of, because we live in a very rural part of Bulgaria, and there's so much untouched soil around. There's been, with the EU encouraging people to use pesticides and what have you, but where we are, I've managed to gain hold of some land which I've sort of maintained it pesticide free, and but I'm just very blessed to be in such beautiful company, and thank you for the opportunity just to express myself on a small level. I'm sure we'll talk again and expand the vision, share the energy, but thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Barrett. Sounds wonderful. I can just get some really clear pictures of some of the countryside in Bulgaria and where you just might be. It was very, I don't know, but just in my heart, it felt very welcoming indeed. I'm just going down the list, and next person I see on my list is from the United States, Jenny Byers from Alabama. What has Jenny been working on?
Hi, I'm actually in Tennessee. I'm heading to Alabama today, but I'm in Tennessee right at the moment. I'm in Northeast Tennessee. So I'm in near North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina. I don't know if anyone's really familiar, but this area is absolutely vortex, like one of the biggest vortex energies in the United States. So I'm from Indianapolis, and I had a near-death experience type of thing with a Korean shaman in 2011. And prior to that, my mom had passed away, and she was very, very connected. She could hear through the veil and knew, everything. I mean, she knew what we're dealing with now was coming. She did a lot of predictions for me. And when she passed, I was able to reach her after I had a near-death experience. So she was able to come in and get me on my path. So within 6 months, I was actually living on 15 acres in the Cherokee National Forest in the mountains here, which are known as like the Crystal Mountains. It's powerful heart. It's real heart energy. So the place was very purposeful. And then I found out that my ancestors, who are the Chickamauga Cherokee, were here on the land. So I'm able to connect through the veil. So I'm connected to my Cherokee ancestors. I'm connected to my mom, and they really are the ones that run this center. So the near-death experience for me was to allow them to get through to me without distortion. So it really purified me so that they could create the center through me and run the center from what I call like the fifth dimension and up. 5, 6, 7 really is where I work, where I'm attuned. So this center, it's great to listen to you guys talk about it, because I knew nothing. I just was gifted this 15 acres. And then I had to figure out what I was doing. And it's been, since 2012, it's been every bit coming the next step, the next step, the next step. So here we are 10 years later. And what we have arrived at 10 years later is we have 6 themed tiny houses. We have a big pavilion where I have a stage and I bring in speakers, authors. So it's really education is a key here, and giving people a platform to share their spiritual gifts. it also helps activate spiritual gifts. So you've got a vortex of land, and people come and they'll stay weekends, and we've developed into a beautiful community. First of all, is as simple as it gets, people coming back into relationship with each other and understanding how to operate again in community. I'm witnessing that. We have a labyrinth, we have a medicine wheel, we have a teepee. We have just started a pyramid build because the pyramid energy is really important. So all of these things are activations. They activate their vortex energy spots that we create on the land that activates the land, and then we're able to utilize them, and they assist us in moving into higher states of consciousness. People come and stay weekends. We do workshops, we do teachings. We've just recently put up a bathhouse because I've been roughing it. I tell people all the time, I bought a little cabin in the mountains. I put in an extra bathroom on the end of that house out of a closet, and people come there for the bathroom. Otherwise the cabins, they don't have running water. We're glamping. But what's so fun about it is that nobody cares and everybody loves it because you're in nature and you're together, and everybody's craving this connection. So not only connection with nature, connection with spirit, because I teach people how to hear. I teach you how to get connected and start getting guidance from the higher realm. So I teach you how to move into the field. And when I witness people doing this here, it is the best thing ever, because that's what we need to do, is we all need to get back into the field. So that's what my center serves as a place for. The barn that we just cleared out to build is going to be big enough to hold about 500 people. It'll serve as a year-round place to do really big events, which I'm so excited about, because up until now we've had maybe 100 people. It'll hold 500. We're clearing out for parking. So all of these things take time, and all of these things are guided by spirit. So my mom said, you build according to our blueprints. We give you the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And what we have seen is profound healing happen. I mean, like, there's nothing more fun than us coming back and doing this and seeing it happen, and understand that this is a calling that all of us, really a lot of us, are having. It's amazing to see that all over the world, about the same time, we're all getting it, right? Like it's a download, and we're all being guided to create these cities of light and these cities of healing, because they are cities. These are going to serve as cities for people to come into, and communities that are going to be outside of these distorted creations that we've been immersed and trapped in for a while. So we have I am actually back in school. By October, I will have my functional nutrition certificate. So I will be able to assist people in healing their physical bodies spiritually, because I can channel. So what I do now more than anything is I get people connected and I'm able to channel. And I do that full time. Pretty much every day I'm channeling for people. And I want to be able to help people not just spiritually connect, but physically get well. Because what's happening is we are going to be in a health crisis. We are in a health crisis. So Spirit said to me that I need more knowledge, and I need to understand how to help people heal their physical bodies, not just their spiritual body. We have a treatment center that's being built. This is like probably the most exciting thing. The treatment center is going to have several rooms, and I love listening to all the ideas, because we have end of life transition, we have birth, we have med bed, and just other healers local that have come in and have been working at this center for a long time, and I feature them, and they bring in Tesla coils. I mean, we have, you name it. I mean, it's so fun. I mean, there's nothing better. What? We have tachyon chambers. We have, we dabble in all this, PEMFs, where we're using these frequencies and technologies to move into source field. I just went, and you'll have to stop me because it's so exciting. I could go on and on. But we just went and met with Mary Hardy in Michigan, who in the 70s built one of the first pyramids in the United States. She just got an award for 45 years of research into the pyramids, and we got to sit in this pyramid that's orgone accumulator. It's accumulator. It's basically pulling energy from the earth and up. And I actually was sitting there, and you can see the vortex spinning in the middle with my third eye. I mean, this is so fun. We have all access to things that are coming in fast and furious, and all of us that are going to be leading the way into this new earth experience are getting the downloads. We're feeling the inspiration. And I just want to remind everybody that we have so much support over there. If I can do this on nothing, like literally no budget, okay? I left corporate world. I left working in professional racing, Indy 500. I was working in that field, and I was doing very well. I left it all to come into the mountains. And I laugh and I say, you know, y'all, when I come around, you start hearing the banjo playing, because I am in the mountains. And I remember my Eddie Cheever, who was the race car driver I worked with, he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to East Tennessee." He said, "You know, pretty girls are fighting to get out of there, Jenny." Yeah, well, so yeah, it's just fun. And I'll tell you guys, we don't even know all that's coming. I mean, we have music, art, creativity. I'll tell you, there is nothing better than letting humans be their creative selves and express themselves. Music, we have a big outdoor stage being built. We've created an amphitheater, and bringing in just, you want to keep your vibration high. You want to live life with joy and fun. Have dance and sing. I mean, it's as basic as it gets. All these things have been stripped from us. It's so simple. Come back to our creative nature, that source, that's being in the field. So yeah, all of it is happening here. And we actually are having so much fun, and that's the way it should be. We should be having fun. We should be interacting together and creating.
I can feel
Hey,
the enthusiasm, Jenny. Randall, go ahead.
hold on a second. I think I saw or heard another voice. And if that's John, could you please just say hi, like tip your head in there, John? Oh my God, I love you, brother.
Love you,
Thank
love
you.
man. Love you guys. I'm over here tearing up,
Awesome.
feeling the spirit from y'all.
Yeah.
Man, I
Beautiful.
love the energy.
I'm feeling it too, bro. Thank you.
Oh, my heart. Love you all. I love what we're doing. It's out of this world. And I feel it and I see it. I'm seeing it, and it's just tearing me up. I've seen the future of it, and everyone's doing, and just feeling everyone's hearts and their love into it. It's amazing. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Love the experience.
Fantastic. I don't know, Jenny. I keep getting the vision of like the movie from the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they
Yes.
come.
That's so funny you say that, because that's what they come here and they see that I started from nothing, because I left my job, and we literally, my husband and I at the time, he was making $25,000 a year. We left everything, and we couldn't get jobs. Like, we just threw ourselves into this, and just by spirit. But every single step of the way we were taken care of, and everything just started flowing and happening. We watched miracles unfold. And now miracles are the norm for us. I don't even worry. We just do it. And I tell everybody, if I can do this on a zero budget, anybody can do this. And that's so important, is, for me to help people understand, you do this through the next new moment. Oh, look, that's going to unfold. Oh, this is amazing. It's a whole other flow of being in the reality.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass it on to Martin, because we got so much to cover still, but I want to hear what Martin's up to and what he's got going on. And welcome again, Martin. And what have you been dabbling in or working with?
Thank you, William, and thank you, all you beautiful beings. I'd firstly like to start by saying something without saying anything. Ikorayeta yamakitutu yanasai iae tua. Inakiita mai o tuiana kiti tuayana se yakiatuana. So, yes, it's it's beautiful to be here, and it's beautiful to really feel and see these divine blueprints. This is what they are. It's a divine plan, a divine blueprint being brought into manifestation. And so someone mentioned the cities. I think it was Jenny mentioned the cities, and this is what's been coming for me as I also work as a channel. And it's that these crystalline cities of light are created, they're here now. So we can't see them. Some can see them. A few of the ladies already have spoken. They've got glimpses of this. But this is a divine blueprint, and we will bring this into manifestation with this co-creation, with coming together. And we're just revealing what is already here. It's a divine plan. So these communities, these projects are a divine idea that we are bringing into manifestation. And I think what Denisha was saying earlier is when it's like a radio station. It's like when we tune to a certain frequency, if we all turn the volume up on that radio station, the music gets louder. In the old system, it was it was competition, it was these things. But that was the conditioning. When we tune into Radio 144 and turn up the volume, this divine plan will appear. It's just that appearance. So it's already there. And actually what I've been shown is even what we're doing here is an example of these crystalline cities of light, because there's no distance, there's no time. We are here in this space. It might look like we're in Australia and Portugal and US and Canada, but we're here in this now moment, and there's no distance and there's no time. And we communicate, and we are, this technology, this physical technology has enabled us to, take quantum leaps on that. So my projects are very similar to what has been shared. So one of them is Terra Nova de Luz, and that's in Portuguese, and it means new earth made of light. And basically everything that all of the ladies have just shared already, and Barrett as well, very similar ideas. We really want the community, communion, and communication. Those are the three pillars. But it'd be it's like a parallel reality community where it is from birth to death, and it's actual residential, not just visiting. These would be like a city, like what Jenny said. That's the grandest idea. And my path has very much been about direct experience. I always, in my journey, have always wanted to give people, not just tell someone something, is give a direct experience. So it'll all be experiential and tangible and real connection with real people, real men and women living on the land and living on sacred earth, and bringing the gifts of the earth into fruition through our gifts and through regeneration of the earth, regeneration of our vehicles, and bringing that through all of the technologies, some suppressed, some that is already here. But ultimately, we are the technology. We are the sacred technology. And through each of our voices, through each of our ideas, when we collaborate, when we come together, then that's when heaven is up upon the earth. We're bringing heaven to the earth, but we're revealing it. It's not coming from somewhere. It's already here. So Terra Nova de Luz is revealing the new earth of light. And it's very exciting. And it's so inspiring just to hear and share the energy here with everyone. And I believe as we come together in these communities like this virtually, it's only a step away to seeing the full actual manifestation of this heaven on the earth. So I'll keep it brief. That's me for now.
God, thank you, brother.
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn it over to Trisha. Trisha, welcome.
Hi, everyone. I am just so grateful to be here with so many beautiful people that are all really in service and really listening to the greater plan. And really, for me, I started this path as a medicine woman and working with psychoactive plant medicine, which really, I've been blessed. I pinch myself every day, that I get to work with people in that respect. And it's one of many paths that you can take to really discover your true self. And the biggest issue that I've seen in this, renaissance of all these healing technologies coming forth is how much individuals who are new to the space, that haven't really grounded quite into the path, want to go off and look at all the shiny objects. And I really think the integration is key. And the integration is about nature. The integration is about community. And the things that we're truly missing, I love, Randy, what you talked about in the beginning about sovereignty, because truly for us to be sovereign, we have to look at food sovereignty, which is growing our own food, health sovereignty, which is providing our own healthcare services, and energy sovereignty, which is free energy, electricity, healing technologies, and money. And so really the way that we start to create that is by receiving. And so I feel so grateful that my partner and I, he's a psychologist, and we worked together and we manifested this beautiful land in the Azores. And much like Danusha's story, you know, it was many, many years in the making where we really grounded our vision in our hearts of every little piece of that, you know, but through the receiving of what that looks like. And then it started to manifest in the physical reality as land, as architects designing, as engineers coming in and doing the engineering. And right now we're at the phase where we should be starting construction, hopefully, knock on wood, this summer. And we're just really excited to be part of that greater network of sanctuaries, because I really feel that the thing that is most needed in the world right now is healing. And I think even more so with, you know, whatever we want to call this, the pandemic that we're going through. I think, you know, really it's about embodiment, and the way that we embody ourselves is through our bodies. And the reality is that I feel the biggest disconnect between the soul and the spirit in this modern era is that, you know, we're in this environmental crisis where the earth is decaying, but we don't realize the micro and the macro are so interconnected, meaning how can we love the earth? How can we learn to be in sacred relationship with the planet unless we don't love our bodies in that very same way? When we learn to truly love our bodies and embody them and inhabit them and integrate our soul-led embodiment, then that's where our environment also starts to shift. And so really that is the core essence of everything that's coming through. And each day that I wake up, it becomes clearer and clearer. And I'm just really also want to keep it short, and just really honored to be here and be sharing this space with you all. And I'm here to support you in any way that I can, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through burning a candle for each of your projects. But I know we're all holding the same prayer. We're all holding the codes. We need to do it together. And so it feels so good to have the support of this group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tricia. Randall, I'm wanting to ask you again, the motivation behind our show today. Why today? Why did you bring all these people together today to share these wonderful projects and things that they've been working on? Any particular reason, or it just felt like it was time?
Yeah, I mean, you know, in the last 8 months, and especially last 3 or 4, we've done a lot of work with First Republic Registrar, my partner Paul Simons over there in the UK, and Danusha, on building a manifestation process for DOSM. And when I say manifestation, there's the creative aspect, but there's also the paperwork and the, you know, design work. Like Danusha's done a ton of design work and certification and notary work that Paul does. He's an official notary at the common law level, right? And when DOSM recognized that in him, it was just like, it just molded together so quickly. And, you know, it's one of those things like the miracles that some of the ladies spoke about. I mean, I'm just in awe, you know, like how it's folding together. And there's many people outside of the, you know, this arm of the Ministry of of health that we're talking about today, and outside of the Ministry of Agriculture, which I'm involved in, you know, you can imagine all of the other aspects of a conscious kingdom. Let's put it that way. It's a kingdom without a land right now, but it's the idea of giving an example to organizations or administrations. I don't even like to use the word government, but if it's got to be used, it's got to be used. But give an example to them as how to lead society from this deception and, you know, stuff that's gone on in the past. And we're not here to talk about that. We're here to co-create and move forward. And that's, you know, it was a beautiful day for that, to say, let's do it January 1st, even though it's just a calendar and it's just ticking numbers, like our buddy Lee, who couldn't make it today, says. You know, like, that's not the point. It's about a time to move forward. Everybody is feeling this from so many ways, in a, you know, galactic sense, you name it. Like, there's every group that I involve myself with, which is many groups, are all saying the same thing right now, William, and you know it too. Like, holy cow, we've lifted, we've risen, you know, like, arise Homo sapiens, like our buddy Sasha Stone, who I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because there's another link there with the International Tribunal of Natural Justice. And I'm not sure how that's going to unfold yet, but Sasha and I've had some good visits, and he's watching what we're doing. So it's just all of this connection. And I mean, I'm just so blessed to be part of it. I don't think of it as myself leading anything. It's just like, holy shit, how the hell did I get here? And it's like, yes, I'm a catalyst. I'll admit that. I'm keeping stories alive and encouraging them and keeping that life alive, like an enzyme or a catalyst would. But, you know, it's not me. It's just something outside of me, like it is, I believe, for every one of the people on the program today. I had just one or two more things, and then we'll make a spin around once more, William, I think. And that, I'd like everybody to just give a final little note before we end it. But, you know, the idea of government words, you know, like capitalism or dictatorship and tyranny, and those kind of government words, is just outside of our realm. So the people here, as you can imagine, like Jenny, just already living in her dream and with no budget. None of us are after this for a capitalist agenda. It's a nonprofit idea to be in service to not just humanity, but in service especially to that divine natural activation, that DNA that somebody else also spoke about, you know? And I love that little analogy of letters and words, DNA, divine or dynastic, you know, natural activation or authenticity. You know, you pick your own words. Like, it's not about the words. And because it's a dynastic order or divine order of Santa Maria, then people are going to get the ideas of names, you know, and words there. I am Lord Randall Earl Kaiser. Like, I have sovereignty certification through First Republic Registrar, and I recommend that for people so that they start thinking more in terms of common law rather than legal jurisdiction mumbo jumbo and babble, which is all that mostly is. You know, the government legal jurisdiction maritime law has convoluted the words, and, you know, when you talk peace at that level, what the hell does that mean? You know, like, it's peacekeepers to keep people from fighting and stuff. No, peace is within. Peace is that divine natural activation that you can feel as a sovereign human being in so many ways. The last point I wanted to make was that, as you can see by the projects that these ladies and gentlemen have, ladies and lords, ladies and gentlemen, have all produced and shown to us today, there's an aspect of production here of goods and services. So, you know, the funding process, which, you know, I've said many times on my programs, don't think in terms of these big globalist organizations being financed. They're not. They're operating on credit lines that they get authorized and, basically get the money for nothing. Okay. There's no interest paid back. There's no debt when it comes to these globalist corporations, including a lot of these governments that are failing fast. But the point being is that there will be funding for these projects, okay, through this organization, is what I feel. Do you have to believe it in your heart? Of course you do. And do you want to listen to me and say, oh, let's go to Randall? No, you got to feel it. And it's more like I've said before too, John F. Kennedy's best words were, think not what you can do for, or what Divine Order of Santa Maria can do for you. Think what you can do for Divine Order of Santa Maria, which is, in my mind, humanity. It's the land, it's the people, it's the love, it's everything. It's not, a capitalist agenda. So last point I had was, I just had to write a few things down as everybody was going, but what a this was just amazing. Like John, you little, just tore those tears out of me, you fucker, when you started to speak. It's just, the energy here today is just phenomenal. But the word comfort keeps coming to me, okay? Lee brought it up a lot of times when we talked about, basic income for humanity or stuff like that. Bullshit. There's more than enough abundance that everyone deserves their comfort. And we're going to see it with these comfort healing communities that are just going to rise. Our group is just one of many, okay? There's so many people out there, so many other organizations that are on the verge of opening up this abundance that has always been there, and it's been suppressed. So thank you everybody for coming in, and I'll let you make a round if everybody wants to say something, that's fine. If not, whatever. I love you guys.
Thank you, Randall. I think that would be a wonderful way to sort of wrap things up, is just to see if anyone would like to share anything in the moment that they feel called to share. It's been definitely an opportunity here for all of us to talk about things that are near and dear to our hearts. I will speak on something very briefly myself, just to kick it off. Like Randall said, just in his last little sharing, is sometimes you wonder, how did I get here? What am I doing here? Like, what's going on? And yet, like with what Jenny was talking about, things just seem to be naturally happening. And a project that I worked on with Randall and Danusha was Randall's book that we've talked about. And I didn't see myself a year ago even, thinking about writing a book or being involved in writing a book or that process. And sure enough, we've got that as well. And Danusha, I felt called to talk to you for a moment because you'd said hello there, and I thought maybe there was something else you wanted to add. But I just wanted to say that I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm here and I've been called to be here. And so here I am, and I'm willing to let spirit guide me in whatever way that needs to be. So I'm going to pass it to you for a second, and then see if anyone else wants to add a few words.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here, feeling so much love and connection, divinity with everybody, and hearing the passion for everything. There's a few bits, but I might not remember it all, so I'll just do what I can with what my head's functioning with. That is the most challenging thing, is to trust what is in yourself and what is your heart showing you the direction. We all get entrapped in following what people believe what we should be doing. We know that. And when we follow the essence of, no matter what it is, that we know it's true inside of ourselves, this is where it leads to things that will be exciting, surreal. How did I land in this situation? How did I meet those people? And that's the beauty about it. So it's trusting thyself. Jumping into funding, I think this is again where people get lost with the monetary thing. How do I do that? I haven't got the money. How do I do that? I've got the money. But to change even the directive of thought pattern, and I wouldn't even say positive or negative, but just thought pattern of it's funding, it's ancestral inheritance. That's what it is. Whether it's been hundreds of years, your grandparents, your parents, bloodlines going back thousands of years It doesn't matter. It is the earth's inheritance as a gift to us through our ancestors that is just simply coming through, however it comes through, for the bloodline and the lineage simply of humanity. That's just how I see that transition from one end to the other. And when you can change that directive as well, that will shift things inside of you of how you receive, in what format, even if it's the most surprising situations that you really actually you're thinking, I don't want to do that, and you do it and you're like, oh, I'm glad I did do that. Just for the people in England, if they want to know a little bit more, I can share nothing at the minute, as in websites information, because literally Google swiped everything off me for 2 weeks. So if anybody's been trying to contact me, book anything with me, it's impossible. So it's just going to have to be either via yourselves at the minute until I can sort something out, which I'm not, because I'm moving at the minute. It's been quite a tumultuous couple of weeks with my mother passing over. So definitely a huge transition. But this first retreat of mine is in Derbyshire. It will have many, many acres surrounded by absolute beauty to be in the perfect frequency and harmony for all, with community. Everything, the produce and everything is in the United Kingdom or local. The second project is literally I'm not going to go into it too much, it's too big a subject. But the other one is basically for women and women only in every library in the United Kingdom. And there's roughly about 4,000 something libraries, and it's a space for women every single week. So if anybody's just suddenly think, oh, I'm interested in that, then, or they would like some connection, or they think, oh, just whatever's just tickled the little strokes, like, ooh, then please do make contact on the thread, or I'm going to get William to be my secretary for the minute. He'll be like, I didn't expect that one. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danusha. I just feel almost overwhelmed with all of the spiritual energy that is coming from all of you. That's fantastic. Anyone else would like to say? Yes, Trisha.
I just wanted to say, since I've taught a class in the past called The Psychedelics of Money, that really when it comes to the alchemy, and I think this is really the path of sovereignty, is understanding you are the money. We all are the money. It's not, like I love what Danusha said, it's our inheritance, but even more so than that, we are that. And it's really when we connect to our own power and when we embrace our own power. And that involves obviously facing the uncomfortable stuff. And so I know within this circle and outside of this circle, that those that are creating this have had to do a lot of work to get there, to be able to embrace that power. But it's our power. And so I just wanted to send that reminder out there into the ethers and into the world. And then also that also right now I have a book which I'm also almost complete with. I've gone through many rounds of editing, and it's Seeding Consciousness, Plant Medicine, Ancestral Wisdom, and the Path to Transcendence. And so right now we are all planting seeds, and with every choice that we make within our hearts and our souls, we continue to plant those seeds. And so we are seeding consciousness together in this very moment. And so we are also allowing that for which is destined already, but to come into full fruition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trisha. Anyone else feeling called to make one last message? Mark, yes.
Well, I guess for moving forward, here we are, and we've just gone into the third here in Australia, of course, but the second of the first, and then numerology, and knowing what the 222 resonance is for this year is quite powerful, and in the understanding or the comprehension of working with the vibration to be in your greatest power source in its own divinity. So this year is looking forward to the fact that it's going to be the year of the water tiger. And of course, the water element is the feminine aspect. And this year is about coming together collectively for the higher consciousness through the heart. That's the whole essence of what this year is bringing forward and creating a whole new foundation. I think more than anything, it's the year where the sacred feminine has to rise fully in her power. And that's not just in the embodiment of the female aspect, but it's also the masculine, to embrace that higher consciousness and allow it to surrender back into the heart, the vulnerability and the intuition. So I think this year is going to be the most profound shift in consciousness on a quantum level I've seen in some time, because the energies that have come in to completely sever off and finish elements that were no longer functioning in resonance in our lives have come to an abrupt halt, and then we're moving straight into a new paradigm of such high consciousness, love and connection. So I think this group here, we all in our hearts and souls are surrendering into that journey together. So I'm greatly appreciated and very humbled by that. So this is a big one moving forward for all of us and humanity and planet, of course. This one is a huge one this year.
Thank you, Mark. Randall, Martin wants to say something, and then I think I'll pass it to Randall after Martin, and we'll wrap up the show. Please, Martin.
Yes, just quickly, I'd like to share, just thank you, William, for hosting, and thank you so much, our brother Randall, for bringing us all together here. And just very quickly, I want to share, like we've shared, for anyone seeing this, we've shared about like some actual physical tangible projects that are in the works, others that are coming to fruition. And so sovereign communities, divine sovereign communities, healing communities, all of these what we're talking about here. But I'd like to just bring the remembrance to everyone that the divine sovereign community is you. It's within you. It's not this what we're creating out here. It's always ourself. And don't think that because you're not doing whatever we're talking about here, you might be inspired by it, but you're called to do this in a different way. Is to be the sovereign, divine sovereign manifestation in your world, in your family, in where you are. These divine sovereign communities are communities of one appearing as many. So just remember that it's not about what the outward manifestations, it's the inner divine sovereign within each and every being, and that will look differently for everyone. So thank you again.
Thank you, Martin. Actually, that inspires me to quickly share something too before I pass it to Randall for final closing. I'm the only person here, I think, who hasn't had a set project that has come forward, but I had a vision or a dream of something 19 years ago that I've held on to ever since. And I've shared, I think, maybe with Randall briefly about it, but what you said, Martin, seems to really resonate with me because it's not quite in the same realm of what everyone else has been talking about. I run a business that is involved in sport, a specific sport called volleyball. And I wanted to have a facility where people could come and play the sport and just enjoy themselves. And I would love to be able to create a center here, a place where people can play volleyball, and it's all about that sport in winter, summer, any time of the year. And it's a project that I've kind of felt like, well, I'm not sure if this fits into what we're talking about. And then when you said it's different for everyone, it resonates differently, it lands differently. And thank you for that reminder. I really, really appreciate that, because I was debating about whether I was going to say anything about it at all or not. But thank you for doing that. And for anyone else that's watching, if you feel motivated, called to something, you have a vision for something, follow up on that and follow through. So Randall, I'm going to pass it to you for final closing. Thank you all from wherever you are in the world to be part of today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you from the top of my heart. And you too, William, for taking the time to come in and join us and get us together like this. You've been such a big part of my life in the last year, and I appreciate every moment of it, brother. So as Tricia said, don't think too hard about the money. Know that you are the money, because MONEY is my own net energy yield. Okay, it'll come. Like, you just have to believe it and feel it and just keep going, never stop. Like, it's your goal and you'll find your way. And acceptance and surrender oftentimes, but just, go inside. So I'll go inside one last time and rise up my chakras, as they call it, or chakras or whatever it is, and say something that has been very important for me is subconscious reprogramming, right? And I do that with repetitive prayer. And a lot of you have heard them all before, but I'll just end this one with, I am the abundant, healthy, sovereign, loving, harmonious, rising up the chakras, remember, harmonious, imaginative man, co-creating abundance, sovereignty, health, love, and euphoria for all, as the sender, the receiver, and the one who shares the abundant energy, frequency, resonance, vibration, and currency of God with the precious treasure and resources of Mother Earth, lovingly through the banking system to the people for their comfort and for projects that are beneficial to all, that do no harm. I love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all. Bye.